Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Gray over at Wakizashi's Teahouse. I'm joined by the Star Trek Meister himself. It's Nerdporeal. How you doing, Brian?
Good. How you doing? Star Trek Meister? Me? No way.
Yes, you really? Yeah.
I
So it's been a
I
while
don't
since we
think
did
I've
the
ever
last one.
I don't think I've ever seen Star Trek before.
But you were asking, I mean, we've been talking about doing another one for a while. We finally got it sorted. It's a bit of a weird day. What day is it? It's Wednesday in Japan, Wednesday morning.
And
It's
Tuesday
Tuesday
night
night
in Chicago.
where you are. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And we're going to cover what are little girls made of. The episode. It says it's episode 7, but some things say it's episode 8. Depends how you count.
It's when I owned the when I saw the VHS tape when I was a kid, it was episode 10 because they included the pilot.
Oh,
It was
right.
episode 1. So I was wondering if it's okay with you if I could traditionally share the press release, NBC's press release
Yeah,
on this one.
that'd be great.
All right. All right, September 28th, 1966, press release. The search for a long missing archaeologist leads the USS Enterprise to an underground colony of hostile and new near human robots in What Are Little Girls Made Of? On NBC Television's network color cast of Star Trek, Thursday, October 20th. Captain James Kirk, played by William Shatner, locates scientist Roger Corby, played by Michael Strong, only to become a prisoner and guinea pig in a mad experiment to create a civilization of mechanical beings. Unable to cope with the unreasoning robots which Corby has at his command, Kirk realizes his only hope is Corby himself, but is stunned by a revelation about the long lost scientist.
Dun dun dun.
Yep. So we get Corby's fiance, ship's nurse Christine Chapel, must now decide where her true loyalties lie, with the man she loves or the captain she serves under. To add her confusion, Corby has manufactured a near perfect duplicate of Kirk and a beautiful female android named Andrea. The theme, the, the age old battle of man versus machine, and defining what it means to be human. See? Yeah, it's heavy stuff already.
It is heavy. It's deep. It's quite cerebral. I was saying cerebral, cerebral, isn't it? But it's also some beautiful scenes, some great sets.
Yes.
Careful how I say that. Sets, really good set design, and
Yeah,
yeah,
they
some nice
brought
eye candy too.
they brought Matt Jeffries himself to design all those corridors. So, yeah, I mean it's just a few corridors, but it looks like they managed to make you believe that planet and all the different ways they move the corridors around made it seem like a maze. And so
Beautiful colors.
that's why they couldn't find him. It was a creepy episode. I mean, like I mean, we've all watched enough TV to know that usually the guest star, that you go to a place where the guest star is, usually they're the ones that are going to be driving the conflict, so they're the ones that are the bad guys. So
Yeah,
they're looking for this Roger Corby. And why did I ask for this particular episode? Well, we'll talk about Strange New Worlds bringing this character back, even though they never met the character before this episode. And I watched it and I know it for a fact now.
couple of
Sorry.
questions in the chat. How about this, Nerdporeal? I think we all know what this episode is remembered for. Well, there are a couple of things that
Yes.
spring to mind.
Yes. You can see right through the Android girl's shirt in ultra high definition. And it was amazing.
Some pretty use of cross pattern clothes. Yep, salty boob window game was peak. Although
Yes.
I must actually not educate you. Let me tell you what they say on Wiki about this. Sherry Jackson, who plays this android woman, Andrea, she said they had a sensor on set all the time to make sure
Yes.
that her costume fully covered her breasts and that there was no side cleavage visible.
Nope.
What a
None.
shame. What a
Nope.
shame.
Yeah. But you could see, but like I said before, before there was high resolution on television, well, you couldn't see it. Now you can see it. You can see the full outline, especially on the blue side of her outfit. She has a blue side and a tan or beige side. So I don't know, but yeah, that was Yeah, this was the child. This was the baby of Robert Bloch.
Yeah,
Robert
Robert
Bloch wrote
Bloch.
this episode.
Most famous for his novel Psycho, of course, but he did lots and lots of short stories, horror based, Lovecraftian, and then later on he was a big famous, well, not famous, but he was a crime writer mainly.
Yeah, he wrote for. So not only did Hitchcock adapt his book into the legendary film, that I mean, even I like, no matter how many times I watch Psycho, the movie never gets old. Like
No,
it's
it's
it's it's
brilliant.
it's, it's engaging from start to
Genius.
finish, and it's just so different. So Robert Bloch was invited to write for Hitchcock, for the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, the OG, anthology show.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he wrote for that, and he wrote for other shows. There was a Macabre show that was hosted by Boris Karloff. I've never seen it. I mean, I'm not that old. But he wrote for that, and I think he might have written for other episodes. But yeah, he was a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft, and this episode in particular was a direct, almost a direct adaptation of "In the Mountains of Madness." That's the name of the short story that was
That's one of
inspired
his
from.
longest. Yeah, it's more like
Yeah,
a long novella, but yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
yeah.
There are parts of it.
Yeah, they go to Antarctica. They find out that there's an ancient city under the ice in Antarctica, and that the really old ones are dead, and they were killed by these mechanical creatures that served them, which is basically what Ruck was, based off of. So yeah.
Interesting comment from Joe Gron about Kirk. He really likes Kirk in this episode and says like you got to see some of his acting chops in quite an early episode. Yeah.
Mind your own business, Gray. I'm sick of your half-breed interference.
That is illogical,
and
Captain.
and what's funny is right before he gets spun on the carousel,
The
or
Wheel of Fortune.
the Wheel of Fortune, the android carousel, where he's going like really, really, really fast. Who knows how many RPMs? Probably like at ludicrous speed.
Faster and faster, yeah.
And he, right before he says it, he's just like, I'm like, why is he saying this? He just says to himself, "Mind your own business, Mr. Spock. I'm sick of your half-breed interference. Mind your own business, Mr. Spock." And so when the android Kirk goes on board, and Spock's like, "Hey, what's going on with you?" It's like, "Mind your own business," and then Mr. Spock is offended
I thought he
because
would guess though that wait a minute, there's something off here. That's not Captain Kirk. That's not Jim. He would never use that word to me. That's what. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Just go back to the first photo. I want to shout out Majel. Is it Majel Barrett? She plays Nurse Chapel in this.
Majel
Majel.
Barrett. So everybody already knows this about her, but she was having some fun with the boss.
Yeah.
So
She became his wife, right?
her and Uhura were they were presenting their personality very well to Mr. Roddenberry. So
Were they competing for his affections?
everybody on the staff knew about it.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think anybody really liked her. But she was so her story is so. Like she was, she was able to look at the scripts because Roddenberry was taking them. I think he was taking them home, maybe not taking them home, but I think he was taking them home and writing them. And she was there, and so she was able to have access to some of the scripts. So she saw this one, and she's like, you know what, that role was. She's like not a fan of the character, but she wanted this role really badly. So she's naturally a brunette. You saw her, and I don't know if you watched The Cage, but she was number one.
She was
a brunette, and then she went and bleached her hair, and presented herself to Roddenberry or something at his office, and she's like, "Hey, guess who it is?" And he's like, "Who are you?" "It's me. It's Majel." It's like, "That's you?" "Yeah, I want this role." And so what's funny is the character that she plays was originally named Margot, who was originally a rich woman who was just a big fangirl of Roger Corby, because in this universe, in this original Star Trek universe, we've long gone past the point of, of worshiping, the Beatles, or, rock stars, or movie stars, or athletes. We look up to scientists, and people that really, drive, that really, invent and drive things, moving things forward. Those are the celebrities. Those are the people everybody wants to meet. Kirk is one of those people. So there's all these guest stars are really, like this episode, and of course the next episode, Dr. Adams. They're all famous scientists that have revolutionized some aspect of humanity in the galaxy, and they're celebrities because of that. So they that's why they kind of, they go and become crazy mad scientists at the end. But yeah, so in this original script, her name was Margot, and she was just a fangirl who hires the Enterprise to take her to find this scientist so that she can, marry him.
Okay.
And it doesn't turn out the way she wants it. And everyone's like, this sucks. We need to retool the character. And so they kept changing the character, and then they came up with a character named Christine Baker, and then they're like, okay, well, you know what? The writer, the one that rewrote the episode, John D.F. Black, the original script doctor for this show, he decided to make that character Christine Duche from The Naked Time, the episode that he wrote. That's one, I gotta have 30 minutes, to turn back the engines on, Scotty. That episode where everybody gets drunk and goes crazy. Like, great. No, I'm kidding. But he decided they're going to use the same character, Christine Duchot. That was the original name. But then because Majel Barrett presented herself and said, I want this role, Gene Roddenberry's like, okay, well, I love this woman, or I think this woman's magnificent. And so she's going to be the greatest. She's going to be big, larger. She's going to be angelic, or she's going to be higher. I don't know how to say it, but like a bastion of virtue. So what did they name her? Christine Chapel, because of that.
Nurse Chapel,
Chapel, because they named her after what was one of the most beautiful ceilings in the world, Sistine Chapel.
Shout out to Steve, Prophet the Dragon's in the house. Hey guys, Star Trek, Salty Travelling Sea, Jargon of Coast, Jana was here before, good to see you, and Zephyr. So anyway, let's get into the story, Nerdporeal.
Hey, that's Roger Corby.
They're going to find this doctor.
You ever see that? You ever see that actor before? Michael Strong, I think is his name.
He looked familiar to me, yeah.
Michael Strong was in a couple. Michael Strong. Yeah, he was in two movies. He was in one movie that we all should know. He was just like a really minor supporting role, but a supporting character. But he was in Patton.
Okay.
So he was in Patton, and he was in another movie I just watched recently, called The Great Santini with Robert Duvall. Have you ever seen The Great Santini from 1979? No. That's the one where Robert Duvall plays a Marine, and because of the fact that he was he's a Marine pilot. We all know we know a Marine pilot. He's a Marine pilot that just bullies his family and his son in particular. And his character, Michael Strong's character, hates his guts. Robert Duvall plays the title character in that movie. So,
Stephen asking, could this be a precursor to Data? Data, says Patrick Stewart.
I don't know.
I think so.
Android? I mean, maybe.
Androids?
This is not the first time we see androids. Mud does more with the the androids being stronger than anybody else and quicker.
So Nurse Chapel and Kirk beam down to this ice planet, and it's not Hoth, is it, Nerdporeal? Unfortunately.
No, it's Antarctica inspired XO3.
XO3, yeah.
Yeah. And one thing you notice about this episode is there's very few, because of the budget constraints and because of the fact that they had to create sets. They had all these guest characters, including, Majel Barrett. That all the other cast, the recurring cast, were not in this. Were not in this episode. This is one of the few episodes of the original series that doesn't feature DeForest Kelley.
And James Doohan is not in it either. Scotty.
Scotty wasn't in like a good third of the episodes of the first season. If they had nothing for the engineer to do, they just simply wrote him out.
Yeah, I noticed that, a lack of the cast. No Sulu either, but I don't know when Sulu comes into it anyway.
Sulu's first episode was the second pilot. He was in Where No Man's Gone Before.
Okay.
He only had like one or two. He only had like 2 or 3 lines. He was only in 2 scenes. But he played he was the ship's physicist. And then in the Corbomite maneuver was the first time we see him in the yellow outfit playing the helmsman. So yeah, he was around. He just wasn't in this one.
Can I just comment on the length of not just Nurse Chapel's mini micro skirt, but throughout this series? It's unbelievable, isn't it? I don't know how they kept that part covered.
I'm curious how she felt. I'm curious how. So it was.
She's a tall lady. Look at her.
It was
to Kirk.
It was Grace Lee Whitney that really fought to have the ladies, or at least her character, wear a skirt because she was a dancer, and she had she was proud of her legs. She was proud of her legs, and so I'm curious. I'm curious how she felt about that. I'm sure she like, I like how they say, how like people nowadays say, this hasn't aged well because it's sexist and all that. I'm like, the ladies wanted to do this. The ladies wanted to show this.
It was fashion back then. It was in. The miniskirt was in the late 60s. Yeah.
And it was a change. The original pilot, The Cage, the ladies were in standard uniform. Like, they were wearing pants. So yeah,
you say, goodness gracious.
So this was one of the creepier episodes because they get the transmission from Dr. Corby telling them, hey, I only want you to beam down, Kirk, because there's things that are so extraordinary down here that a normal person will not know how to react to it and will spread disinformation about this. And then, of course, he hears, Christine, and Christine Chapel is his fiance, and he's like, okay, you can bring her too. So those two come down, and they beam down, and there's nobody there. And then they're like, Dr. Corby, and then you hear an echo you hear a nice little echo sound on the set, and it's quiet, and it's creepy.
It is creepy. No one there to meet them.
Yeah, and that's why he calls down these 2 security, because he's like, I don't know what to make of this. I don't know if I'm walking into a threatening situation. Well, he was right, because look at that. There's Ruck. They didn't meet the character yet, but the Ruck pushes their security guy Matthews down this bottomless pit.
I know, which we don't actually see, do we? We just hear. It's like,
the camera. The camera must be floating. The camera must have like a. The camera must have a repulsor lift, because it must be floating, because that below that camera is a bottomless pit. I still believe that there's a bottomless pit underneath that camera inside that soundstage.
Nerdporeal Salty wants to know, what is Lurch doing in Star Trek? Goodness gracious.
I think they wanted a character. They wanted an actor that was as big as him, and I don't think there was a whole lot of actors back then as big as him. I mean, who was acting during this time? Jaws. Richard Kiel was acting.
Oh, Richard Kiel, yeah.
He was in the Wild Wild West. He plays Dr. Lovelace, little Michael Dunn, a little man Michael Dunn. He plays his bodyguard. He plays his number 1 bodyguard, Voltaire. So little 3'5" Michael Dunn as the big bad has a 7'2" tall body henchman. Imagine that.
That's classic.
So yeah, they could have hired him too, but I don't think Richard Kiel talked a lot in his roles, whereas you hear that booming voice of Ted Cassidy.
And look at the size of his hand. His left hand.
I have heard every word you have said. You have now 10 minutes. You know, that's that. He was Baylock. He was the Baylock in Corbin My Maneuver that was threatening them on the ship's intercom, and he was the Gorn in Arena, an episode that we have to cover in the future.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Well, he quickly dispatches security guard or red shirt number 2, doesn't he?
Look at the size of those hands.
Look at his hand. It's so bigger than his face.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He's terrifying. That is terrifying to have that.
And then we get introduced to Andrea.
You can see him. Look.
No, there's something there to hide them, I think. It's like something within the costume that is kind of keeping them undercover, if you know what I mean. Like pads. It has to be Nerdporeal. There's no way they'd let that go in the 60s.
Well, in the 60s, the resolution wasn't this high for starters.
Gorn Hub, says Stephen Ransom.
Gorn Hub, yeah.
But she was a striking looking woman.
You know how she got hired? The casting person, Joseph DaGosta, was in love with her.
Of course, I think everybody was.
And according to her
Sherry
account,
Jackson.
She did not pick up on that. Yeah, sure she did.
Sherry Jackson.
But she was a child actor. She was on a lot of shows. So I think she was only 20 or 21 when she did this.
And she also said that when William Shatner in the scene kissed her, he really kissed me. There we go.
Yeah, she was kind of intimidated by him because he was a New York actor. He was a Shakespearean, theatrical actor where they really had to, project themselves.
I'm a Shakespearean actor reduced to the state of a bum.
And she literally said she didn't like those type of people. I guess before they were theater kids, they were Shakespearean.
I think people don't know that about Shatner, do they? Or they don't know.
No, he was. He was every. I think most Star Trek
stage actor.
Stage actor. He was an understudy of Christopher Plummer. So when you see him and Christopher Plummer in Star Trek 6 together, it's it's almost like it was like the encounter we were all waiting for.
Nice.
So
we get a bit of a it's not a love scene, but it's a nice scene between Nurse Chapel and her fiancé, the Doctor. Forgetting his name again, Dr. Corby. More than meets the eye.
Yep. Once again, Nurse Chapel pining for. In the Naked Time, she was pining for Mr. Spock. Now she's pining for Dr. Corby. Yeah.
It's legitimate theatre. That's how they separated themselves from other actors.
And nowadays, theatre kids.
Yeah. Okay. How about this for a screen grab, Nerdporeal? Look at that. Fantastic.
No communications, Captain. And I don't know if anybody realizes that, but that's a phaser beam right there. That's a phaser. That's a phaser beam right there. That's about to hit him.
It's not a red lightsaber or something else.
With some magnificent, visual effects, state of the art.
It's a shame I couldn't get a clip because I wanted to get the clip of just before Kirk fires. He does a classic Captain Kirk Shatner roll, doesn't he, to the side? He rolls behind a table.
He holds Andrea hostage, and then he does a
classic
humble,
Kirk side roll,
and then hides behind a table, and he's like, drop it, and he shoots him before the villain is taking too long to shoot him. So that's why this happens.
He does take a long time. Yeah, he's kind of looking at him. He's aiming, looking like, where's he gone? He's behind the table. Then he gets shot.
The character's name was originally Dr. Smith.
Was it Dr. Smith?
Yeah,
lost his space.
Yeah, well, what's funny is they changed the name to Brown because they thought Smith was too common of a name, and it is. But heck, Lost in Space was on. You're gonna get Dr. Smith. You're gonna confuse people.
You're right, Salty. The lighting is really good in this episode, and the colors as well.
Yeah, well, you know how they introduced Dr. Brown? You saw his silhouette. You saw the light comes on, and then you see him standing in the line. You see nothing but a black silhouette. It was terrifying. You're like, what's going on here? Who is this guy?
It's cool, like I say. I reckon watching it as a kid, you would have been pretty much terrified, or you would have been scared of this episode.
Well
done.
I rented this. I first saw this episode when I was a kid, when I was 12. I was in 6th grade. I was sick a lot that year. I just didn't want to go to school. Then asthma kind of hit me, but I used to collect the VHS tapes, or in this episode's case, I rented this episode. They had like the first 10 episodes of season 1 at the video store I went to. And there was the old 80s VHSs, not the 90s ones, the 80s VHSs.
Cool.
And that's how I first watched this one. And yeah, this episode was quite down. It was quite the downer compared to other episodes I've seen so far.
I love the way Ted Cassidy here, the character Rock, he picks Shatner up like he's nothing, just picks him up so quickly. It's amazing.
Yeah, and Shatner's like, ooh, this is fun.
Just notice that weird little head in the background. Can you see it? Is it on the back of a chair or some furniture? There's a little strange head here. No way.
Yeah, it might be a replica of an old one.
An old one.
I think. I don't know. I've never noticed that either until now. Until you just showed that. So that's interesting. I've never seen that before. Or
then
noticed
Brian,
that.
The first big shocking reveal is dun dun dun.
Yep. You hear the famous. Where have I heard that theme? That jingle, that goes to commercial. They played it in Space Seed in the beginning, and when they encountered the Botany Bay.
Oh, really? I can't remember.
Very same theme that they used. Speaking of music, I like the Ruck theme. Bum 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 with the timpanis.
You remember that? That's cool.
Bum 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 bum, something like that. It was very menacing and very intimidating.
I've only watched it the once, so I'm still like kind of. It's still
you know what episode I first heard that theme in? Same episode, Space Seed, when Khan grabs the phaser out of Kirk's hand and crushes it with his hands. God. They played that same theme. They played Ruck's theme for that.
So where are we? So just a quick catch up. Kirk, Chapel and Brown find Corby, who tells them the caves were left by an extinct race. The old ones, of course. And then Corby shows Kirk and Chapel machinery that can create androids. Goodness gracious.
Yes.
Amazing. And he was an android, as we find out. And again, Kirk being picked up and thrown through the air.
Yep. That was clearly William Shatner, because William Shatner always loved to do his own stunts, right?
Yeah, look at his hair. It's like, maybe not Shatner.
Maybe not the Shatner. So
again, great colours and lighting. I love it. I love this whole set. These like weird underground caves.
You could just tell there's a light in the like right behind the camera. So
just pointing at it.
Yeah, I mean the reason why they they didn't even have a reason why Brown and Ruck were different. So they had to establish that Ruck was an old one. Or not an old one. He was built by the old ones. Yeah. And that Ruck and that Brown was built by Ruck and Dr. Corby. So right now I don't know if that's supposed to be foam or something. I mean that is foam, but I don't know if that's supposed to be foam on the show, or if there's actual mechanical. I'm wondering if there's mechanical parts in that dummy right now.
It's strange, isn't it?
Or maybe it's just the magic machine that just turns a lifeless.
It's like a golem.
A bipedal golem turns that lifeless golem, foam golem, into a mechanical android. And we get
to see Shatner with his he had to have his chest shaved according to Wikipedia for this role.
Yes, he did. Because Gene Roddenberry felt that men in the future would be hairless. So I'm just like,
no hairs in space apart from on his legs.
It's funny because how many times has he had his shirt ripped? But there was one scene in the show where Nimoy had his shirt off and he was just hairy chest, hairy stomach and all that. I guess Nimoy refused. This was the Nazi episode in season 2, Patterns of Force, where they're in the jail. So he had his shirt off for that one. So,
All right, I don't remember that either. No way.
but it was Shatner. Shatner was the one character Shatner was the one actor that had to have his shirt off quite a bit in this series.
So Dr. Corby wants to create a replica, an android of Kirk. That's what they're putting them down on this strange wheel of fortune, which starts spinning and spinning and spinning so fast. And then this is the final scene we see after it stops spinning. My goodness, identical.
Yeah, he's like meet an android, and then you find out that the captain in the gold in the captain's outfit is not the captain. He's like, androids do not eat, Miss Chapel. After a long conversation about how she's concerned about Dr. Corby's humanity, which is how this whole episode kind of pays off at the end. So
Stephen posing an interesting question here. When did the Stepford Wives come out? Robots in media, a fascinating history. Yeah,
that came out in the mid 70s.
Yeah, sometime.
I've still have not seen that one. I just know that like most 70s horror films or science fiction films or psychological thrillers, it usually doesn't end well for the good guys.
Nope. Westworld as well came out in the 70s, didn't it?
Yeah, Westworld was one of the few exceptions that it did end on it ended well. Well, not just well, but
yeah,
the bad guys didn't win. That's the one thing about the 70s. Bad guys generally won quite a bit.
I agree, Malik. Yeah, the original, the classic Star Trek. Love to see it too. And by the way, Nerdporeal, you were talking about Paramount Plus. I don't have Paramount Plus, but in Japan it's available on Netflix, so I was lucky. But I noticed the print's not great. Sometimes there are like black, what do you call it? There's dirt or there's problems with the film. Yeah, it's not the most clearest print. But anyway.
Interesting.
Anyway, let's see. So where are we? So they've got the two Kirks talking at the dinner table, both refusing to eat. Actually, nobody's hungry.
Actually, real Kirk is hungry. He hasn't eaten. He's trying to tell Android Kirk that eating is a pleasure, sir, something which you'll never really experience. And then Android Kirk retorts and says, "Well, at least I won't starve." So, yeah, but like they go into right before this, Corby's trying to impress upon Kirk that he can create a better order of humanity because of this android technology. Like he can start, duplicating android. He says he wants to duplicate androids.
Yeah.
And go to a colony and like Stephen Ransom says, become a Stepford Wives like situation where people start getting replaced by androids. So
the question is, do they dream of electric sheep? Oh no, it's too early for that, isn't it?
Well, as long as it depends. Is there an origami crane lying around? Is Edward James Olmos creating his origami cranes? And pointing him to Kirk. Maybe Kirk is a replicant after all.
So there's a crazy scene where while they're talking, the real Captain Kirk, he's getting some rope from under the chair somehow. He grabs Dr. Corby, grabs him around the neck with the rope.
Yeah, this was another thing that the censors were worried about. They were worried that this would come off as too brutal or too
for the captain violent to do that.
Yeah. So I think that's why Corby's covering it. Like he's covering the rope around his neck or something.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, because we don't really see it clearly, do we? No.
Yeah. So one thing is that I was looking to see if there was any mention about the design of this prop, and everybody remained mum about that. So even the author of even Cushman, the author of the These Are the Voyages, account of these episodes, can't answer this because nobody's talking about it. Either they're gone, they're deceased, or whoever's left is just there's no.
Salty was talking about it before, he mentioned it, the hidden phallus in this episode, which Captain Kirk pulls. It's only a stalactite, is it, or a mite?
Stalactite. Yep.
Yeah. The space cock.
I never until I got a good look at it on the internet. I never noticed until recently that it looked like that.
I think Captain Kirk's giving the one of the old ones a good time. Or he could be, but maybe not. No. Anyway, he attacks Rook, but he's got no chance. Rook easily overpowers him and like pushes him off the ledge. And we get another Blade Runner flash early, don't we? From the classic scene where Harrison Ford's gripping the side of the building, looking down.
Yep.
I'm going too fast.
This was written by Roddenberry to give some tension, give some slight action, some stakes. So
pictured, Kirk strangles a comically large chef hat looking for Remy. Fair monarch, you madman. Malik's saying he's only just started Star Trek. It's the only science fiction thing I never got into, but it's fun stuff for sure.
Oh, definitely watch original. Definitely watch
the original series. Yeah, it's
season one. It's got season one's got a lot of great episodes. Like some of the best. I mean, season 2 gets cheesy, but season 2 has some more of the best episodes. Like, yeah, I mean this show is popular for a reason. The actors really sell it.
They do.
Too bad the writers in this original series, especially in the later seasons, they really could have used some more script polishing, in my opinion.
Definitely. So this is a scene, Nerdporeal, you were talking about, where the fake android Captain Kirk beams back onto the Enterprise. He's checking out possible planets, isn't he, for habitation for his Dr. Corby's android race.
Yeah. So in the original script, Spock realizes that he realizes that this Kirk is an imposter because of the fact that he's not carrying his issued phaser with him, or when he came back. Cool. Is
that how he noticed? I didn't realize.
In the original draft.
Okay, gotcha.
And everybody thought it was stupid. This came from Robert Bloch himself. Everybody thought it was stupid. Roddenberry and Justman thought it was stupid, so they rewrote it to include this scene right here. Mind your own business, Mr. Spock. I'm sick of your half-breed interference. You hear? He's like, what? What the hell did you say to me?
That is illogical, Captain.
And very distasteful. Your use of the term half-breed, Captain.
These androids are colonized. Yeah, Jargon's asking. We've just been doing random episodes so far from season 1, haven't we? No, I don't think we've. Did we do anything from season 2?
No, not yet. No. I mean, we're doing these episodes and just episodes that where we want to talk about. So.
Standout episodes or things.
Yeah, there's still episodes that we haven't from season 1 that we haven't talked about, and I think I told you, Gray, what the next episode we got to talk about is because. They're bringing that character back. They're bringing that character back in Strange New Worlds, even though they never encountered him before. Sorry.
Again, it's an episode I don't think I've seen on the first run, so yeah, looking forward to that. Where are we? Okay.
Teaches her how to kiss.
Typical Kirk. Yep. Typical Shatner. He's trying to make her feel things. Jim, can you feel it?
Yep. And he I don't know, something about Kirk. He can tell male computers to kill themselves when they have to, and he can get female androids to fall in love with him to the point where they either want to kill themselves or they want to kill him or something. In her case, she wanted to kill him, but she mistaken the android for him.
This is cool. Like this scene, I didn't catch it, but when he takes his hand off her arm there's 3 strong red marks, where he was really holding her tight. That's what she was talking about, the actress saying, he really kissed me. I think he meant it. Yeah. Malik's talking about he liked the episode with only kids are on the planet.
Yeah, he's talking about Mary. That's the one with it's the episode that establishes that there are alternate Earths.
Oh wow! And
I like that one in particular because they actually talked about it in the opening act. Like, okay. This is an alternate Earth, so, but it's different. So,
I think he was just testing your knowledge, Nerdporeal, and you passed the test with flying colours.
Oh no, I mean it's. I mean, I like the idea, but I think with kids in Star Trek, Bonk bonk on the head. That's how I feel about that episode. Bonk bonk on the head.
Kirk, secretly the biggest brain computer whiz, and knows all the secret backdoor passphrases after a few interactions.
You
Yeah.
are the evil, Landrew. You are the evil. And then, okay, well, we haven't talked about Return of the Archons yet. That's gonna be a fun one too. There's a lot of great episodes in this season that they're just so worth talking about. Oh yeah, this is where the body count really begins right here.
It does, doesn't it? I was surprised he got taken out so easily.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what happens. You try to, even 6'9", Ted Cassidy with his large hands and his massive strength,
Huge.
can't go against a face or set to kill.
Nope.
Or set to vaporize. So we find out in this scene that Kirk finds out that his people, the androids that were created by the old ones, they killed all the old ones. Kind of like the Kalon did in the Orville. They killed all their creators too. So they killed all their creators, and Kirk basically says, "Hey, Corby's doing the same thing to you. Are you gonna let him live?" And then that's when Ruck's like, "You know what? I'm gonna kill you too, Corby," and Corby kills him.
And then they fight, they tussle, he gets trapped, he catches his hand in the door. The classic one, the trapezoidal doors.
It's such a weird thing to do though. Like why like these doors are programmed to, open when there's, when there's, something there. There's a sensor to open. So it's a weird thing for Kirk to do that. I mean, like, did he suspect that Corby was an android this whole time? This was made not by Robert Bloch, but by I think Roddenberry himself, as a way to avoid litigation, because this episode, once again, was similar to an episode of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Very similar episode, very similar thing. There was originally going to be a fight where Kirk fights and overcomes Corby, and then Corby, is about to die. He kills Ruck and Andrea, or he kills the android Kirk and Andrea by pushing them into some force field where they disintegrate or something. But yeah, they changed it for this. So
Nurse Chapel was shocked to see it. Nerdporeal. Oh my god!
Yeah,
he's
my fiance.
Yeah,
the robot.
The whole episode was him trying to convince her. He's trying to impress upon Kirk, his ideas about bettering humanity. But the moment you watch the episode, you knew, like, right away, like, he wasn't the same person based on their accounts of him. Like, he was harmless, he was virtuous, and then all of a sudden he goes from being that type of person to being very paranoid and mistrusting. To the point where he only allowed minimum people to come down and see what they were doing. And apparently he was plotting something big, and the whole time he's trying to impress upon her that he's still human. Well, literally here she says, everything you've done has proven that it isn't you. And he's like, I am Roger Corby. He's like,
it's still me, god damn it.
Yeah, well, you've been willing to kill, you've been willing to do bad things in order to achieve your goals.
Huge sacrifices, to achieve your goals,
So we find out that the only thing that's left of him was his brain, and somehow the machinery saved his life. Him and then Ruck obviously saved his life, but because of the fact that his flesh is gone, he lost a great aspect of his humanity. That's basically the point of this episode. Basically, that's the point of this episode.
So this scene here, Nerdporeal, I wasn't clear. Like, who fires the phaser? Because
he does.
Andrea kisses him.
Yeah, he does.
Then,
he does, because he realizes that he's been in denial this whole time. He thinks he can go back into can go back into civilization that he's still human, and then he gets this he gets this news that he's not, and that things can never go back the way they were. His relationship with Christine Chapel will never be the same, and so right before this, he's crying. He says, "You can't do this. He's like, you can't kiss me. You're not human." And she's like, love you. And then they kiss, and then, he kills them both. I was just like, whoa, what's going on?
It's a kind of down ending, isn't it?
The nighttime Spock gets down there. He's like, where's Dr. Corby? And then Kirk's like, well, Dr. Corby was never here. What's weird is this episode doesn't end on a minor musical note that other episodes have, even though this episode probably should have ended that way. But it ended on what's weird is it ended on an optimistic note, because she stays on the ship and she has moved on from this. So, because like other episodes, like Charlie X, I don't think we covered Charlie X or the episode with Lazarus, the alternative factor, those ended on a more sour, somber note.
Really?
Musically, and there's a reason why they chose that. I'm surprised they didn't do that for this one. They gave it a more upbeat musical ending, showing the credits, executive producer, and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's yeah.
So think about the body count. You're talking about it. Probably you got the 2 red shirts, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The first android doctor, the guard kind of thing, and
Rock.
then Rock and Dr. Corby and Andrea,
and the imposter, the Kirk imposter. So
the fake Kirk. Oh my goodness,
Kirk,
yeah. That's big
7.
body count.
Yeah, yep, 7 bonds.
Deadly sins. And we finish with a gorgeous shot of the Enterprise.
Yeah, this ends on a upbeat tone. Like it's just, I don't think it should have ended on an upbeat tone like this. It should have had a more somber ending. Asking the question, if we lost our, like, what would it take for us to lose our humanity? Would it take us to lose our flesh? No. It takes much less than that. History has proven.
Well, Spock tells Kirk about his dismay of Kirk using the term half-breed to warn that something was wrong.
I didn't even know what that meant when I first listened to this episode. I was like, I was a kid. I was like, half-breed? So then I knew, because, he's half human and
he's half human, half Vulcan.
Yeah. He's an interracial. He's an interracial character. I mean, so
ahead of its time. Amazing.
Yeah. So
Kirk says he'll remember this should he find himself in a similar situation.
Yeah, exactly. How did the character just come up with it?
Salty saying he finds it an upbeat ending. It celebrates the humans beating the fake human robots.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they won, I guess.
Body count, says Steven. Androids don't count, do they? I think they count better than me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, maybe. So what would you reckon? What would you rate it? If you're going to give rating, we don't normally do that. But do you like this episode?
I do like this episode. I think I like all the episodes of season 1. There's not a bad episode in my opinion. Well, there might be some bad episodes, but I like them all. Even the bad ones don't bother me so much. So I'd say for this one, I'd give it like a 7.5 maybe out of 10. I mean, I like the musical cues. I'm not a fan of the way of the tone at the end. The penis stalactite, just like, what were they thinking? The fact that they didn't have McCoy or any of the other characters, you were always. I mean, Shatner really had to carry this episode by himself. I mean, we all know Nurse Chapel, but when this first came out, Nurse Chapel was only in one other episode. She was only in 3. I think her character was only in 3 episodes of season 1. She was in this. She was in The Naked Time, which is where she first appeared, and she was in Operation Annihilate, which is one I don't think we covered yet. That was the final episode of season 1. That's the one where mass insanity starts to plague the galaxy, and it reaches Kirk's brother's colony,
Oh wow.
and you're like, okay, how is mass insanity hitting the colonies? When we find out what it is, and it's a good episode. It's a really people give that episode crap, especially the fact that it follows up from Sitting on the Edge of Forever. It's a really good episode. I really enjoyed that one, and I think it should have been 2-part. It could have been a clip if it was made in the 80s. If it was made in the 90s during that era of Star Trek, it could have easily been a cliffhanger. They could have
Cliffhanger ending.
They could have made a 2-parter out of that episode.
Oh yeah. Look at this, amazing. We got some positivity from Salty. I think this episode is 8 out of 10. Just the production value and the guest star casting alone.
Yeah, I could definitely, I could definitely, yeah. And you got you got that great Ruck theme, and you got. I mean, it was you're like, okay, things are moving, and like you got some, yeah, like you said, great sets, like that lab with the carousel.
It was really cool. The Wheel of Fortune.
The Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Kirk.
There's a lot to remember.
I think I'm an 8. I'm an 8 out of 10. Jared runs at 8.6, so even more generous. I'm an 8 because I say I love the production values. I like the acting. I thought Kirk was very good. The Andrea, my goodness, she was beautiful. Really interesting, and I like seeing Ted Cassidy, Lurch, Ruck. He was cool.
If you wanna continue the mad scientist theme, well, me and Gray did the Dagger. We did Dagger of the Mind's the next
Dagger
episode,
of the Mind.
Production wise, we already did that episode, so definitely watch that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian, I've got to wrap things up because coming up to lunch here, and we've got kind of busy afternoon. But this has been awesome. So before we finish, anything you want to shout out or recommend or? Ladies.
Well, I mean, hopefully, me and Gray we'll have to talk about this. I want to do Squire of Gothos because the character Corby, was brought into Strange New Worlds for no reason, except to they brought Chapel into the show. I like the actress is hot, but they brought Chapel into the show when they didn't really need to. And now they brought Corby, and they're bringing another character, Trelane, into this new season of the show. And I'm so mad about that because they just can't seem to keep their hands off of these original characters that they first encountered in this show, not in Strange New Worlds. So, so they have a new actor that's going to play Trelane. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, they brought another actor to play Mark Leonard's Romulan commander in season 1, and I'm just like, don't even try to revive these characters. Just let them be. So.
Oh yes, let them be. Thanks, Malik. Have a good one yourself. Looking forward to the next episode. Yeah, me too.
Cheers. Thanks
for watching. Cheers, Salty, Stephen, Stefan, everybody who was here. It's been fun. I'm just trying to line up a photo to play us out on. Let's try and find. It's going to be the Enterprise, hasn't it? Hang on a sec. Here we go. So yeah, as for me, I don't know what I've got coming up. Nerdporeal, nothing really. Nothing exciting. I'm kind of at the moment with YouTube. I'm a bit like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we do.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I really do want to do is basically because I've been, I read the accounts of these episodes for the stream, but I want to do my own like video project, doing a retrospective. I just haven't really. I have to get myself to put in the work, the editing work, and the planning and all that. But that's something I do want to do in the future for my channel, Nerdporeal. But this Friday I'm doing cool. This Friday I'm doing a Chillporeal with a guest, and we're going to be talking about Ocarina of Time, the Zelda game from the N64.
Yeah, I remember that.
We're going to be talking about that on Friday, and then I think in a few weeks, I think me and Salty are going to do something, aren't we?
If I'm able to join, I'm not sure. It depends on the time zone.
So.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It'll be a Friday night my time. It'll be a Saturday morning your time.
A guest, says Salty in the chat. A guest in inverted commas.
Yep.
Okay, nice one. I'll drop us out and I'm just going to play a song at the end. So thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for your your Nerdporeal know-how and knowledge of Star Trek. It's been cool.
I don't think I've ever
looking
watched
forward
that.
to the next one. Yeah. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. We will see you soon. Take it easy. It was great trying to share. And catch you very, very soon.